So this morning I was flipping through the winter issue of Tyer magazine, as I often do when I'm looking for patterns to tie. I like to look at the back page and see if there are any flies in here that just catch my eye that I think will work in the waters I fish. And I found one called the red slasher. Now it was in an article by Richard Strolis called Winter Flies for the Farmington. Now I'm sure this will work in lots of other waters and it'll probably work year round. Now, not counting the hook and bead, it's just a 2 material fly, got some crystal flash and then a little bit of red vinyl rib. Now, it's a fun little tie, and I am looking forward to giving this a shot here on the Savage River. So there it is in the vise, the red slasher. Just a simple little winter midge pattern that I'm sure will work year round. Now, I'm tying this on a size 14 curved shank hook with a 2.8 millimeter tungsten bead. And now I'm not going to weight it, but I am going to step up my thread red, just do the whatever thread color that you want for your body. And this is a 140 denier, and I'm going with a thicker thread just so I can work on a tapered body. It'd be a little easier to make a thicker tapered body with a thicker thread. So I'm just putting a couple layers of a base right here, and then we'll take it back to the bend and snip the tag off. And the first component, it's going to be our red vinyl. This is size midge. Just going to catch it in. Actually, I'm going to take my thread back closer to the front, catch it in up here. This will help thicken the body up just a little bit. Let's go out, not that, watch out there. Okay, that's going to work. Now just keep this parallel to the hook. Go all the way back to where we want to start our body. Now with our thread up front, let's catch in our crystal flash. And mine is very thin. This is a small crystal flash, so I'm going to use 4 strands. Couldn't tell from the picture how many he had. It looked like 2, but it was also a thicker crystal flash. So this is going to be our underbody. So just wrap this back to the, where you want to start your body as well. And then we'll leave our thread up front. I'm going to go ahead and snip this off right here. We do want a little bit of a tag, or a wing out of this crystal flash, but we'll do that with this that we're going to wrap up. So I'm just going to kind of spin these together and then wrap them up here to the front of the fly. Okay, now with these coming off the top, I'm going to go ahead and catch them off. Oops, I've moved my vise just a little bit. Did that get out of focus? Yeah, there we go. Okay, see how those are coming off the top? We can go ahead and put a wrap in front and then back over it as well. And I am going to go ahead and snip these, not necessarily to size, but shorter, just make it a little easier to work with. Now, the fly in the book had these red wraps just going one right next to the other. But I'm thinking if you do that, you're not going to see much of this crystal flash underneath it. So I'm going to purposely space these out just a little bit so that I'm going to see some of that crystal flash underneath it. So I'm varying mine just a little bit from the one in the magazine. But go ahead and wrap it up here to right behind this wing. Okay, 2 or 3 wraps to secure this. Make sure I'm behind it. All right, now we can snip off this red rib or body material, and I want these going back a little bit, so let's put a couple wraps right here, and we can do this to just kind of thicken up our thorax area right there. Don't get it too thick before you whip finish, because the whip finish will add about 4 thread wraps to this area up here. Now take a look at it. Do we want to trim these a little bit? Yeah, I think so. The picture in the book was pretty small, but maybe not terribly small. So there we go, just a drop of head cement or UV resin. And again, up to you if you want to put that red rib right next to each other. If you do, you're not going to see much of that crystal flash underneath. So I think the fly might be effective either way. So there you go. I appreciate you watching, my friends. The red slasher. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.